Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Plugged In with Paul Sugimura. Today's guest is not only an incredible tradesman, entrepreneur, and at 36, he's built Airwise into a trusted company by high-end builders and clients all across the GTA. Known for his honesty, patience, and uncompromising quality. Please help me in welcoming my dog, Kevin Cheung. Welcome to the podcast, Kev.
What's going on, buddy? Thanks for having me.
We've been talking about doing this for a very, very long time.
Yep.
Years.
Yep.
And here we are now. So thank you so much for joining me, man. Appreciate it.
I'm glad to be here.
That's-
My first podcast, so I'm excited.
Let's get into it. So, what we like to do on the show is, kind of people see sort of the end result, but we
Mhm.
like to start from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
So, kind of tell me about, how you got started in HVAC, and I mean, you've kind of been doing it for a while now, right?
Yeah, I've been doing it since I was 16 and straight out of high school.
So 20 years.
20 years, yeah.
Yeah, that's
Actually,
amazing.
wow.
Wow. Time flies.
Yeah, so basically I was in high school and I believe they were offering co-op between grades 11 and 12.
Mhm.
So as soon as I hit grade 11, I took the opportunity to get into a co-op program for trades. At that time, the government was offering a program called OYAP, Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program. And that basically allows you to fast track the apprenticeship. And I've always known that I wanted to work with my hands,
Mhm.
right? Whether it's plumbing, HVAC, electrical, whatever. And actually, my first interest was plumbing. And then I have a really close relationship with my mom.
Yeah.
So I went home. I said, "Listen, I want to take advantage of this program, but I want to be a plumber."
Yeah.
And then she's like, I guess jokingly, she's like, "I don't want you coming home dirty and all that stuff,
right.
smelling like whatever." So then I said, "Okay, let me brainstorm some ideas. Let me pick a different trade."
Mhm.
And I stumbled on HVAC and I stuck with it.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's awesome. So, did you know right away this was going to be your career? Like, obviously, you kind of said you wanted plumbing. Like, when did you sort of realize that, like, yeah, like this is going to be it? Because you've been in it for 20 years now, right?
Yeah, to be honest, when I first started doing it in the summer,
Mhm.
I was actually intimidated because I felt like I was just thrown right
Into the fire.
into the fire.
Yeah.
And very quickly I learned you can't make mistakes. Everything is costly if you make mistakes, and it actually helped to mature me to
Right.
who I've become. And um, as I mean, I guess to most people it might sound a little like deterring
Mhm.
to like kind of like move away from the trade, but I just wanted to stick through it. I wanted to prove myself, prove it to the company I was working for that I am capable, and I fell in love ever since.
So, what lessons have you learned about work and life, like through the trades, right? Because I mean, like you started so early.
What life lessons I learned?
Yeah, and work lessons as well.
Work lessons. Just being accountable for the work that you're doing, right? You got to be responsible. Um, this trade or any trade in general really teaches you to step up. You know what I mean? Like you got to be punctual, you got to be responsible, and yeah,
I think those are things that you can carry on in life too, right?
for sure. Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
That's awesome. So, in 2012, you went out on your own, and what was going through your mind when you first launched your company, Airwise?
So basically, what led me to opening my own company, there's actually two parts. The first part is I try to get into the union actually.
Ah.
And at that time, it was so hard to get into it. I didn't know anyone that was in a union. I thought I was just going to be working for someone
Mhm.
like forever with a good pension, good benefits.
Mhm.
And then the second part was the company I was working for. I I learned a lot from them, but I also saw a lot of bad things that they were doing.
You could do better, like you.
And I thought to myself right away, I could do better. I could do this better. I could improve on this. And I think I can offer my future clients a much better experience.
Right.
So I said, you know what? After I got my apprenticeship fully done, everything signed off,
Yeah.
and I became a full journeyman,
Yeah.
I just went on my own. I took the leap of faith and I just opened my own company.
Yeah, so I think that's one thing that I really that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on here too, was to
Yeah.
inspire people too to like
For sure.
actually like take the leap, because I
Yeah.
feel like a lot of times people can get, and even just talking about this podcast, right? We've been talking about me doing this podcast for so long, right? Like years, right?
Yeah.
And now I'm finally doing it. And just take the leap. So I
Yeah.
think like that's great that you just kind of decide to just like fuck it, I'm just gonna go for it. I'm gonna do
Yeah.
it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And now obviously it's not all ponies and rainbows when you start, right? And
No.
I think as business owners, we go through it every day, right?
Yeah.
Even still. So, what are some of the challenges that you built that were with you at the beginning? Because I know, even for my real estate business, right? Like when you first start off, people are a little bit more scared to use you,
Yeah.
right? Like, so what are some of the challenges you faced when you first started?
I mean, immediately when I first started, so let's say 2012, I was 23, I think.
Mhm.
Immediately, it was like, you look a little too young. I'd be like knocking on people's doors and you look like a kid. You just finished high school. And then I'm like, no, I'm actually like 23. I'm fully licensed and
Mhm.
I know what I'm doing. So that's like the first challenge, right? The second challenge is obviously waiting around for work to come in. You know what I
Right,
mean?
right.
So one of the most important things that I learned in the beginning is, you have to network. You have to get yourself out there, go to the right place at the right time, meeting the right people.
Right.
Just, and then just networking, talking to people, and then eventually, someone will try you out kind of thing and then take off from there.
We've had another guest on here as well talk about door knocking, right?
Yeah.
And it's hard.
Oh yeah.
It's hard. But like, how did you kind of get through doing it? Like, what motivated you to keep kind of doing it? And then could you share some objections that you received? Obviously, one was you're too young, but like.
Yeah, like the most
Yeah.
common one was that I was too young
Hmm.
and you know, I actually didn't mind when they said that
Right.
because I actually wanted to prove them
Yeah.
that I knew what I was doing.
Right.
In terms of like I guess has it affected me emotionally or whatever?
Hmm.
No, it's fine.
Yeah.
I think us by nature we go through rejection quite often,
Right. 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 Right.
whether it's personal or business,
Right.
right? So just the way to handle it is just be positive,
Yeah.
be optimistic, know what you offer, know your value,
Yeah.
and everything's okay. Like that's fine.
That's awesome. So I think, yeah, one of the things I've been noticing with you is like mindset is like
Mindset.
very, very important,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. Mindset is very important. Yeah.
So what advice would you give to somebody who's thinking about starting their own company?
Be 100% confident in your own capabilities,
Mm.
and also have a strategy in place.
Right.
Don't
Right.
just go blindly.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Right. So how do you balance everything? Because I think one thing that we always talk about, and the guests that we have on, time management is so important, right?
Hmm.
And you're somebody, as you've already said, right? Like you're up early. Like if you
Yeah.
show
Yeah.
up late to these jobs, that's your business gone. So like,
Yeah.
what are some things that you can kind of like give to our viewers, some gems?
Well, definitely start it like waking up early.
Hmm.
That's a really good habit for everybody. You know what I mean? Just that way you're not rushed in the morning. Get up early, maybe meditate a little bit here and
Hmm.
there,
Hmm.
and then, go through the schedule for the day. Always have a schedule, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
And yeah.
So what do you do in those cases where I kind of want us to go back to your early career on as well, because a lot of challenges that are faced. So what were things that you did to push through these challenges, right? Because obviously there's self doubt, right? Like you said when you first started, right?
Yeah.
You're getting a lot of people slam the door in your face, right? And like
Yeah.
you know that Kevin, that the Kevin all the way back then,
Yeah.
right? Like what were some of the things that Kevin did back then, to push through all these people slamming the doors? Your mom saying do something else, like all these people kind of saying these things to you. Like how did you push through?
Actually, my parents were a great support.
Awesome.
Um, I mean, not only because I was also able to live at home,
Yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah.
I got a great relationship with my
Mhm.
family, so I was able to leverage that.
Awesome, awesome.
But, my mom especially, told me that that's how business is. Like the
Mm,
first 1 to 3 years is gonna be tough. You just
mm,
gotta stick through it. And as long as you know your worth and what you provide,
yeah,
someone is gonna buy you
yeah.
eventually. You know what I
Wow,
mean?
that's great words from mama, eh?
Oh yeah, yeah. She's very supportive.
So you think that I guess your family is a very big part of your support system then?
Yeah, I would say so because when I was living at home, like, I would always talk to my parents about my plans, but also I believe that they knew deep inside that I had it in me
Mhm,
to
mhm.
succeed, you know what I mean?
Right, right.
Like I wasn't just wasting my time and or whatever, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
I was always thinking about how to build the business.
Can you kind of tell our viewers about that little thing that you're saying? Like you're always kind of thinking ahead, the next step ahead, right? And kind of thinking. So
Yeah.
can you kind of give our viewers a little bit of that thought process that you have?
Yeah, so for my business, for my trade, what I like to do is I like to stay relevant in today's market, right? It's always evolving. We all know technology is moving at a very fast pace, and there's a lot of new products coming out, right, for our trade. So I try to stay on top of it by just researching it, going to conventions, seeing what's the next big thing. What do I think my clients want in the next 5 to 10 years,
Mhm.
right?
So I want to take a stop and just for everyone to listen, like this type of thought process that Kevin has is that's really how you really evolve your business, right? And grow your
Mhm.
business. So where did that thought process come from? Because sometimes people can get, the mundane shit, right?
Yeah,
Like you kind of get lost, like and kind of
yeah,
just maybe the tunnel vision, right? So how did you
yeah.
kind of open up yourself to be able to kind of see that full view?
I just don't like the idea of being complacent. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Complacency really kills anybody's business.
mm,
If you think you're not gonna evolve
mhm.
with the times, you're gonna be get left behind,
Right, right.
right? And that's one of my core values is you can't slow down, you can't fall behind. You
Right,
got to
right,
be
right.
ahead of the game.
Right, right, right,
You know what I
right.
mean? That's what sets me apart from all the older
Tradesman.
tradesmen, right?
So what do you do to help sort of decompress and also stress? Because that's the other thing that we also like to
Uh,
talk about. Because people get, there's so many things that day to
mm.
day, but how do you decompress as well, right?
Yeah, so anyway, let me go back from the
Yeah,
beginning
yeah,
about that question.
yeah.
In the beginning, I used to work 7 days a week.
Mm,
Not saying that that's a bad thing, but you have to realize when you work that much, you're gonna be stressed out,
you're gonna burn out.
and the people close to you will also feel that stress, right? So my relationships were suffering at home too because I
Hmm.
was working so much and I was stressed. So anyway, fast forward a few years, I decided to not work 7 days anymore, right? So I just work Monday to Friday and
Hmm.
I leave Saturday, Sunday for, my family, my friends, and my
Hmm.
loved ones.
Hmm.
And to de-stress, like one of the best ways is just hanging out with your buddies, just talking
Hmm.
to your friends,
Hmm.
catching up with them.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Just something that's not work related.
Right,
Get your mind off of it.
right.
And
So balance is very important.
balance is very important, and also have hobbies too, right? Have
Mm,
have hobbies that's healthy.
yeah.
Like I like photography, for
Right,
example.
right, right, right.
So, I will be, like driving out to a forest one day shooting,
Right.
trying to shoot birds
Right,
or
right,
something
right,
like that.
right, right. So that just helps you decompress. So I think that's
Yeah.
yeah, that's one thing that I think, especially when you're your own entrepreneur, right? You're always
Mhm.
like, oh, if I'm like resting, somebody else is like doing something,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
But then when you to your point, when you do that, right, then you're
Yeah.
just an asshole because you're burnt out, right? And
Yeah, you're burnt out.
yeah, right. So then
Yeah.
your quality, I'm sure your quality of work goes down too, right?
Yeah, so yeah, like even health wise,
Hmm.
like let's just talk about your personal health. Like
Right.
even you're not in your um peak is at your most peak state when
Right.
you're burnt out,
Right. Right.
right?
Right.
So you might not be making the wisest decisions as well if you're burnt out,
Right.
right? So yeah, I think balance is like one of the most important things to maintain.
Okay, so let's kind of talk about some of the projects that you've done because I know you kind of do it all. Like I love to watch your Instagram to
Yeah,
see I'm like what new ridiculous build are you at
yeah,
today?
yeah,
But I know that it also took a long time to get there, right? So
yeah.
you do a range of all different types of projects. Like what do you enjoy most about like the different projects?
I think the thing that I enjoy most just about work in general is I enjoy first and foremost meeting the people behind it,
Hmm.
right? Whether it's the clients or the builders themselves, because they always have an interesting story. Oh, right. I actually enjoy the end result the most
Mm.
because in my trade, people don't care about looking at my work
Yeah, yeah,
because
because it's all the drywall covers everything.
it's
Yeah,
everything
yeah,
covered,
yeah,
and the only thing the clients really see at the end of the day is the mechanical room where
yeah.
the boilers, furnaces are in, or they only know whether it works or not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, there's heat. Oh, there's AC.
You
Yeah,
know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah.
Right? So for me, the most enjoyable is the end because then
Mm,
sometimes I get phone calls saying, Kev, you know what? You were able to solve this problem that I had for years
mm,
and you figured it out. And now, let's just say every bedroom is the same temperature. You know
mhm,
what I mean?
mhm.
And that makes me feel good because it makes like I love solving people's problems.
So, what's your approach to big projects and small projects? Because I think, and to take a step back, because I think this is good for our listeners as
Okay.
well. Because anything in life, right? Sometimes you have big things,
Yeah.
smaller things. So,
Yeah.
how do you kind of deal with like those things?
Um,
What's the thought process or philosophy?
I've always treated everybody equally, right? Whether
I love
it's a
that. I
$500
love that.
quick service or $500,000 custom home.
Right.
Everybody gets the Airwise special, which is, I like to call it the custom bespoke experience
I love that.
that I cater towards every individual,
I love that. I love that.
right? Because everybody has their own needs, right?
Mhm.
So I make sure I meet their needs and I make sure they're heard.
Mhm.
And again, like small or large, I treat them all the same,
Yeah.
right? Because you never know what doors the small guy can open, right? You never know.
Because everybody has to start somewhere, right?
Everybody has to start
Yeah,
somewhere,
definitely.
and
You work with high-end luxury builders and net worth clients. How do
Mhm.
you manage the expectations?
so I always have a sit down with them. I talk to them about first of all what they want, and then through my knowledge and expertise, I will tell them this is what's gonna happen.
Mhm.
Are you okay with it?
Mhm.
And honestly, they're all pretty reasonable, I would say. I think the most common issue homeowners have, clients have,
Mhm.
is nobody likes bulkheads, right? Let's be honest, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
They'll say, "Oh, why is this here?
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want full height ceiling," kind of thing, right? And that's where I excel in actually.
Right, right, right.
Like I'm able to pretty much decipher their property, reroute, like let's say the ductwork in a
Mhm.
way where it doesn't compromise on quality,
Mhm.
but at the same time, I'm able to hide. I'm able to delete their bulkhead
Mhm.
and hide it in like a custom cabinet
Right.
or a closet or a kitchen bulkhead or whatever,
Right, right, right.
right?
How do you deal with the pressure of these high stake jobs, right? Like,
Mhm.
obviously, like a quick house call,
Mhm.
you've done this 100 times, or you can close your eyes and do it
Yeah,
in your sleep. So
yeah,
when you start to scale now, right?
yeah,
Like there's more
yeah.
expectations, there's more dollars, and anytime you add more dollars to it, there's more pressure, right? So like,
Mhm.
how do you deal with like that sort of pressure?
To be honest, I'm in my element. Like
Hmm.
I'm very comfortable.
Hmm.
I've
So it
like
doesn't even feel like high pressure.
doesn't even feel like high pressure anymore. I think the only pressure I would ever feel nowadays is just timelines. Because like, you start to get jobs from all angles, but then everybody has their own timeline, which is I want it done yesterday. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Hmm.
So you got to be able to manage everybody's expectations, and get it done.
Let's talk about the Airwise philosophy because I actually like this that you have this, and I think it's really good that you have core values or core principles
Mhm.
that you kind of stick to, right? And
Yeah.
they define not only like your brand of your business, but then
Mhm.
who you are as a person too,
Right.
right? So let's kind of talk about that a little bit. Where did that Airwise like? Where did you kind of formulate that, like these core principles, and how did you like get to that
It's a
point,
good
right?
question.
Yeah.
I think it's just from upbringing,
Mm.
just like discipline, family values, and then that kind of molded me into being that particular person
Mhm.
that I could exploit in business,
Right, 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 right.
so other people can enjoy that.
Right, right, right. So let me ask you something. So you're known for your punctuality, your honesty, and always answering the phone, right? Like
Yep.
you're always on top of shit, right?
Yep.
Like why do you think those like simple things matter so much in business?
I think answering the phone is the most important.
Hmm.
I've had when I worked for my old company, I had a company phone.
Right.
I've had their clients directly call my company phone instead of through the office,
That's crazy.
right? Because they're like, "Oh, they don't answer. Oh, I leave a message and they don't get back to me. But when I call you, Kevin, when I call your company phone, you answer all the time."
Hmm.
And that's stuck with me since day one
Right.
because that's what I noticed. That's what's wrong with
Yeah.
our industry
Yeah.
is like there's no reliability,
For sure.
right?
For
Like
sure.
you have to pick up your client's phone,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
After the second, third call, guess
Yeah.
what? You just lost them.
No, for sure.
You know what
Yeah,
I
no,
mean?
I agree with you. I mean, even in real estate, that's kind of the same thing I
Yeah.
go about because like if you don't answer the phone,
Yeah.
there is 100 people who are waiting in line to
Exactly.
answer that call.
Yeah.
Right. And if
Yeah.
you decide to, oh, I'm just too tired today, well,
Yeah.
guess what? Somebody's
Yeah.
not tired and somebody's gonna close
Exactly.
that business, right?
Exactly.
Mhm.
So, and I hate losing business. You know what I mean? I don't like that. I try to accept everybody's business.
Mhm. And
Yeah.
what is the we kind of talked about you kind of talked about this a little earlier, but what does the Airwise special mean to you?
Just the end result, their satisfaction.
Mhm.
That's the most important thing. That's not only the end result, but also getting there,
Right.
right? So for me, it's offering that experience where If a client is not happy midway, well, instead of me being a typical tradesman, oh, too bad, it's got the
Yeah.
bulkhead's got to be there. Right? What do you want me to do? I'm not actually. I've gotten the nickname magician before, right?
That's
So they're
awesome.
like, "Wow,
Yeah,
Kev, you're a
yeah,
magician. You
yeah, yeah,
really move that."
yeah. No, for sure, for sure. I mean,
So
I mean, to your point, right? Like, I think it's also one of those things where, um, sometimes people just kind of get like, oh, I already did it. Oh, yeah.
yeah, exactly. That's another thing.
It's about me. But I feel like,
Yeah.
to your point, right? Like,
Mm,
if you stop making it about you
yeah.
and really about providing service for the client,
Yeah.
they'll remember that,
That's
right?
what it is. I'm in a service-based industry, right? So it's
Like me. Yeah, exactly.
like if you're gonna be whining
Yeah,
about certain things like that,
yeah,
you're never gonna get another job,
for
right?
sure.
Like you want to be, you want to be, you want to, be able to say, hey, I understand your point.
Hmm.
Like, how can I help you? Where do you
Hmm.
want this kind of thing?
And I think this actually ties into my next question because I was going to ask you, like, how important are referrals and word of mouth to your business? And and the other thing is, how do you continue to foster those positive reviews and things like that? I
Yeah.
mean, you've obviously kind of talked about it already.
Yeah, so basically my business has been referral based. I actually haven't put out any ads at all.
Yeah.
Like even my website, it's probably full of viruses.
Yeah.
Like I haven't even been upkeeping it, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Because I
yeah.
just didn't need to.
Right, right, right.
I do want to grow, of course. So eventually one day I will focus back on the marketing side of things. But in the meantime, referrals, that's the most important. I think that goes for all businesses, right?
Right, right.
Because referrals encompasses a lot of values that doesn't need to be said,
Right.
like integrity, accountability, all that stuff, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the moment you get referred, it's not about how much, it's when.
Yeah,
When
for
can you
sure.
start?
For sure.
You know what I
For
mean?
sure. Yeah, no, I agree with you because, like, I think there's just, as there's, unfortunately, there's a lot of poor quality work,
Yeah.
right?
Hmm.
So like people will already have sort of a thought in their minds, like,
Yeah.
oh shit, like especially with like tradesmen and even sometimes real estate too, right? Like they're like,
Hmm.
oh, this guy's gonna try to like fuck me over or do whatever, right? Like, or maybe he's not good. But like I
Yeah.
feel like once you get that referral,
Yeah.
that sort of like objections
Yeah.
are kind of already gone.
Yeah.
Whatever sort of
Exactly.
objections you already had, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't get the hey, you look so young anymore.
Yeah,
So
right. Exactly.
that
Exactly.
that rejection's gone.
Yeah, yeah, exactly, exactly, exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Okay, so what do you think makes your clients trust you enough to pass your name along?
Executing the contract
Hmm.
as per written.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? And that has to do with, um, for example, people hate extras. People hate at the end of the project. You're like, oh, by the way, here's a $10,000 extra bill. Oh, where'd that come from? You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah.
I give a price.
Hmm.
I stick to it.
Hmm.
But by the way, tariffs are really hurting the pricing.
Yeah,
Just so you know.
yeah. Tariffs are hurting everything.
Yeah. In fine print, the
Yeah.
quote lasts 15 days. So you better sign now so you can lock in the price. But no, anyway,
Yeah.
yeah, so just performing, exceeding their expectation, right? So
Mhm.
it's like, oh wow, Kev, you gave me a timeline of 4 weeks. You finished in 3 weeks,
Right.
right? So what does that mean for them? That means they get saved money, whether it be a business a construction loan or a mortgage or even insurance, building
Right.
insurance.
Right.
That's
Right. Right.
reduced because now you can get the next trade in
Hmm.
sooner, right? So when you prove to them that you're not only are you on time, but like you can do it um faster,
Hmm.
better,
Hmm.
and again at the end where everything works, you don't
Yeah.
get no callbacks
Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
oh,
Yeah.
this broken, that broken.
Yeah.
That's where the referrals just fly, just
Right.
like rolls off the tongue.
Yeah, I think you've done a very good job of building your business because, yeah, like I said, like, yeah, you rarely promote, but like you're one of the busiest HVAC people I've seen. Like, literally every day on Instagram, it's like new thing, like we talked about earlier. Like it's like, what new place are you working on? What new
Yeah,
custom project are you working on?
yeah,
Right, and like you don't really do much, but like to get to be in to have those size scale projects,
yeah,
right? You're obviously doing something right because these builders aren't going to choose you for this multi-million-dollar
yeah,
home and be like, oh, let's just get like, you know, guy from Buddy over here. No,
yeah.
we're going to get somebody who we know can kind of deliver, right?
Exactly. That's the most important.
So when is the moment you realize that this just isn't your job anymore, but it's
Mhm.
also part of your brand? Like when did that kind of click with you?
I've never really okay. Yes, it's a job, but I don't like to see it that way. You know what I
Mm,
mean? It's kind of the way I like to spin it is it's kind of like a passion project.
right.
turn into um just I just like to strive for to be great at what I
Mhm.
do. So
How do you avoid like, um, kind of getting tired and when that sort of moments happen? Like, how do you avoid all that burnout and stuff? Because it's your brand, right? Your brand, but building your brand also is tiring too, right? Like
yeah.
there's things that will come. Like, how are you working through that?
Yeah, like unfortunately I haven't been spending too much time on building the brand because
Hmm.
I've just been referral based. But I could imagine in the near future when I start building my the brand itself,
Hmm.
like I would probably again burn out. So I I think immediately what I would do is I would hire the right people
Hmm.
to so that I can share that
Yeah.
stress with.
Right. 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 Right.
So that would be my first thought.
Yeah, I think one of the reasons why I actually wanted to have you on here too is because I really like the way that you think. You're always kind of thinking ahead.
Yeah.
And like even with that question, right? Like how you gonna build a brand, you're like, oh, I can't do it. It's okay. I'm gonna hire somebody
Yeah.
to help assist me so that I
Yeah.
don't feel that sort of burden.
Yeah. Because the thing is like I'm really good at what I do,
Hmm.
but also there are other people that are better than you at doing things that you
Yes.
shouldn't be doing,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
So you got to hire the right people for the right job.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'm not, like there's value in that, you know what I mean?
Hmm.
So,
So Kevin, we're getting towards the end of the interview, and
mm,
this is part of the time where I like to do a little bit of rapid fire, so we keep
sure.
it a little bit fun. Okay, so this or that.
Okay.
Would we rather do luxury mansion or a luxury cottage?
Luxury mansion.
Luxury mansion.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
Phone call or text?
I actually prefer texting.
Mm.
I actually prefer texting. There was one point where I used to just wear like earbuds so that
Have
I
the Bluetooth the
yeah,
Bluetooth.
because believe it or not, I'm still on the tools,
Right, right, right. Oh
right?
yeah, you can do both. Yes, yes,
Right?
yes.
So a lot of people think, "Oh, I'm just sitting at home and whatever."
Yeah, yeah.
No, I'm actually
You're
physically on
there.
the tools. I'm there with my boys.
Yeah, yeah,
I'm making sure the quality is
yeah,
there,
yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
So at one point I used to have the earbuds in, but then I stopped using that. So now I like texting because you're gonna get a text back the same day for sure, but it won't be immediately.
What's a project that you'll always be proud of?
Honestly, I would be proud of all the projects, but the one that stands out immediately would be the very first custom home I did. Yeah, because that one, funny story, um, this random guy found me
Hmm.
by tailing my truck.
No
And
way.
he saw my phone number
Oh shit.
and he called me and he's saying, I'm in a big bind. Like I need an HVAC guy now
Yeah,
to start now.
yeah.
And I said, okay, I can do that for you.
Right.
So it was kind of cool because finally the marketing on on my van
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
finally helped.
That's
But
awesome.
then that one stood out to me because he's like, I need to do HVAC and hydronics, meaning like radiant floor heating. And at that time, I actually didn't know anything about hydronics because my company never did it.
Yeah,
Like,
because I was gonna say your company does that now. Like that's a
like
big service you guys offer, pretty much for all,
yeah,
right?
that's we specialize
Yeah,
in that now, like
yeah.
snow melt radiant, right? But anyway, so then I said, yes, I can do it, but I had not a clue how to do it. So as soon as he signed the contract and
Yeah,
I knew it was real and
yeah,
I
yeah,
had to do it, I looked online,
yeah,
I researched, I went on YouTube,
yeah.
how to do this, how to lay the pipe, how to install the boiler, everything. And then I consulted my sales rep too, who
Yeah.
sells like the boilers and the product.
Right, right, right.
And they actually were nice enough to help me because I was gonna buy their product. And in
Ah,
return, they would set up the system, teach
yeah,
me,
yeah,
walk through kind of
yeah,
thing.
yeah, yeah.
So that project I was the most proud of because it was something I've never done, and I took the leap of faith,
Yeah,
and it works, by the way.
yeah, yeah.
It
We know, we
works.
know.
Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say that's actually so interesting that you said that because I think that's like kind of a learning lesson too. Is like
Yeah.
to your point, right? You're always learning,
Yeah.
right? And you weren't afraid to accept the job,
Yeah.
and then now all these years later,
Yeah.
that is part of your bread and butter.
That is big part.
Right?
Big
So you
part,
weren't
yeah.
afraid to step out and like be like, oh, like you weren't intimidated by it. You're like, oh, let me learn, let me try
Yeah.
to get it, and now it's burn. But that's awesome.
Yeah.
What's the hardest lesson you've had to learn about being a business owner?
Hardest lesson. I mean, one of the lessons is being able to accept not defeat, but um knowing that some projects you won't make money. And it's okay,
Mhm.
right? People may see it as a loss. I see it as a lesson, right? I could have done this better and or I could have priced this properly or
Mhm.
maybe I shouldn't have competed with ABC heating
Right, right,
to get it because now I'm in the hole kind of thing, right? So that's one of the lessons I learned is it's okay to lose sometimes,
right,
you know
right,
what I
right,
mean?
right, right, right.
It's part of the journey.
I think that's a great mindset. Sorry, I want to cut you off there because I think that's a great mindset to have too. Because I think sometimes people let those sort of losses
Eat them, eat
eat
at
eat
them.
at them, and
Yeah.
then for example, like, oh, maybe I lost out on this business. Oh, I don't want to do this anymore. Like, this is not
Yeah.
even for me anymore, right?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
forget it. I don't want to even try anymore because
Yeah.
this pain feels. But then I like the way that your mindset is that it's like, no, like every loss is a
Yeah.
lesson,
It's a lesson.
right?
Yeah.
So then are you really losing if you're learning
That's
something,
right.
right?
Yeah.
What keeps you motivated after all these years? We kind of talked about it from the beginning, right? But what keeps you motivated?
What keeps me motivated in terms of
Like this business, right? Like,
just
because you're 20
business?
years in, right? Like,
Yeah, yeah, I'm
it's like a
pretty.
long time.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
right?
ready to clock out.
Yeah. So what keeps you motivated?
Obviously, like some of the things that keep me motivated are just um being able to like afford a lifestyle that I want to live
Yeah, yeah,
first,
yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And then secondly, just continuing to impress my clients,
Right.
right? I think that means a lot to me because if you're not, um, it's kind of like if there's no goal or if you're not trying to impress like the person that's giving you the work, and if you don't care about them, then naturally your work's gonna go downhill,
Right, 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 right.
right? So that keeps me motivated because you know I want I want people to be like, hey, Airwise is the guy.
Last thing. Well, in future, we're gonna look in the future, right?
Okay.
So what's sort of the legacy you want to leave behind when people think about Airwise?
A company with integrity, with old school values, and that still maintain those values.
That's awesome. I love that.
Manner your word, integrity, accountability, responsibility. I think all those are really important. And honestly, it seems like it's kind of dwindling away.
Yeah, doing it's interesting. Like, sort of these you said. I like how you said old school principles because you are
Yeah,
correct. Like, these days, it seems that, like, being a man of your word or woman of your word, right? Like,
sure.
delivering, like, doing what you say you're gonna do. Like, these are not really hard things to do.
They should be the bare
The
minimum.
bare minimum. But
Yeah,
then, to your point,
yeah,
right? It's not the bare minimum, right?
exactly.
So
So
yeah.
that's kind of a depressing thought that I can see the trend going
Hmm.
to that direction. So
Yeah.
hopefully,
But Airwise is not gonna do that. Airwise,
never.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
It's never gonna do that.
Let's get it.
You'll never hear a bad thing about us.
Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. All right, Kevin. Thanks so much for coming by. Tell everyone where they can find you.
I would have said www.airwise.ca, but I think it's full of viruses, so please don't visit that yet. I'm working on it. I'm working
A
on
site under maintenance.
site under maintenance, social media under maintenance, but you can definitely find me at kevin@airwise.ca.
All right. Thanks everyone for tuning in to today's episode of Plugged In with Paul Sugimura. A huge thank you to my guest Kevin for joining us, for sharing his stories and insights with us. Now, if you enjoyed this episode, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe, and share with somebody who you think you'll find value with it. I can't wait to bring you more conversations that educate, inspire, and keep you plugged in. Till next time, peace.